Okay, girls, so let us start. We will see the next topic in Unit 5, Game Theory. Okay, so this is the question which I am trying to say you can attempt in exam. It's very easy, direct, no complications in this particular question. So try to listen properly so that there will not be any complication further. Okay, so now if you see, game theory is a simple concept of how we apply this particular theory is applied generally in our any kind of sports. What we try to see right now in TV, it might be football, it might be cricket, it might be a race, anything. So we apply this particular game theory. Anyhow, in any game, we try to compare two players or two teams, okay, two games or anything. So in such kind of scenario, we try to name, it might be player A or player B, it might be team A or team B. It depends upon what kind of game. Okay, so the same game theory can also applied in business in comparison of two competitors, competitor A and competitor B, in comparison of two similar products like soap, a Lux soap, and it can be a Rexona soap, like that. So this is also applied even in business world, as well as even in, it is also applied in game, any kind of sport as well. So if you see, this is a kind of point matrix. It is a kind of point chart, whatever you're seeing right now on the board. So now always if I go from player A wise, I am speaking in player A and player B terms, girls. Like as I just stated, it can be applied in any kind of scenario. It can be applied in business, or it can be applied in any kind of sport as well. Okay. So if I see, if I take player A, it is very plain. Minus represents, obviously in our games, in our game, minus point represents a negative thing. That means you lost that particular game. When I see this particular matrix, when I represent from the player A scenario, when I see it in player A scenario, player A lost a game with 1 point. Understood, girls? Player A lost the game with 1 point. Obviously, it is a draw. 0 represents, it is a draw between player A and player B. Okay, when I see positive value, which is 2. So player A won the game with 2 points. So that is how we need to understand. Player A won the game with 2 points. Similarly, when I go with the next scenario of, a second scenario, these I call them to be as strategies, girls. This is A1 strategy, this is A2 strategy, this is B1 strategy, B2 and B3 strategy. These are all strategies. Okay, so now if you see, if this is for A1 strategy, if I go to A2 strategy, he won, with 1 point. Whereas in the other two scenarios, he lost the game with minus 3 points, with 3 points and 1 point. Now, if I go from player B perspective, it is completely reversed. When it is positive for player A, when it is positive means winning for player A, whereas negative means player B won the game. Obviously, if he lost the game, the opponent is winning the game. Yes or no, in general terminology. If a person is losing the game, if player A is losing the game by 1 point, that means who won the game? Obviously, the opponent won the game. So when I come, player B perspective, when I come in player B's perspective, it is the opposite of it. So B is winning the game by 1 point. When it is positive value for B, as A won the game, obviously the opponent lost the game. B lost the game. So remember, girls, A positive means winning the game and negative means losing the game. Okay, similarly, if it is from player B's perspective, positive means losing the game. Okay, the opposite of it, and negative means winning the game. So this is one particular logic we need to apply in our game theory. Okay, did you understand this particular concept? From player A's perspective and player B's perspective, is it clear to you all? Any doubt? Any doubt, girls?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now when we proceed, there will be 3 strategies, in 3 different levels, we try to solve the problem of game theory. Okay, we try to solve using 3 particular levels. One is finding out the saddle point. If you are able to get the saddle point, it is quite easy that you are able to solve the problem. If you are not able to, if you didn't get the saddle point, obviously you'll go to the next level, which is dominance theory, which we apply. Even in dominance, if you are applying dominance strategy and even then you are not able to solve the problem, then you apply algebraic method. Though the names look a bit confusing or complicated, they are quite easy. So in order to understand what is saddle point or how to start solving the game theory matrix, the matrix what we just saw as an example is nothing but the payoff matrix. So such kind of problem we will try to see once I'll share you the question. So based on that particular question, we will try to solve the problem. So now if you see, girls, this is how we have the matrices. I hope you all can see the question. So maximin and minimax principles. So what are they? I'll let you know. So now if you see, there is a matrix which is given to us. So how to find out the saddle point for this particular game, we will just see. So this is a game matrix which is given to us. Okay. So, and they're asking us to find out the saddle point for this particular game. Okay. So now saddle point, first we have two things, girls, maximin and minimax. You remember, always column wise, sorry, row wise. Always row wise, you will get maximum and minimax. So simple, what is maximin? Maximum of minimum values. It is a short form of maximum of minimum values. What is that? I'll just let you know. Maximin represents maximum value out of the minimum values. Maximum of minimum value. Simple, go row wise, pick the smallest value. Minimum value, no, we need to pick the minimum value. When I go row wise, the minimum value is -2. Agree? Any doubt in this? When I go row wise, the minimum value is -2. Similarly, when I go second row, the minimum value is -6. Now maximum of these are the minimum values and we need to pick the maximum value. Out of these two, the maximum value is obviously -2. So wherever you have -2, just box it in the matrix as well as even in maximin and minimax. Did you understand this? Girls, again, I'll repeat. Always it is, you remember the row wise, always it is maximin. That means maximum of minimum values. So I went row wise. In the first row, we picked the minimum value, which is -2. In the second row, the minimum value is -6. Now, out of these two minimum values, what is the maximum value, which is -2, which we highlighted in the row as well as in the maximin column. Now come minimax. Minimax is nothing but minimum of maximum values. So minimax always we do column wise. Okay, in column the maximum value is 6. Then in second column the maximum value is 4. In third column the maximum value is -2. Now in this minimum we need to pick the minimum value, minimum of maximum value. So the minimum value is -2. So the minimum value, when I marked it on the matrix, it is also -2. So the merging, the merging point, if both minimax and maximin, if both are same, that I try to call it as saddle point. As per this particular game, the minimum value and the maximum value both are same, okay, which is nothing but -2, and this -2 is nothing but saddle point. Saddle point is A1, B3, which is -2, and this also I try to call it as value of the game, which is also equal to, which is represented with V, which is also equal to -2. Understood, girls? If you are getting the saddle point here itself, your game is solved. Okay, we are solving the game that there is a saddle point, that for A, the strategy with -2 points, he's at a, if he's losing also, it is not a problem. It is optimistic for that particular game. As well as for B3, if he's winning by 2 points, it is also, it is like a stable point. where no winning, no winning or no losing, and this try to give the value of the game. So that is what the saddle point, which is -2, where it is equal, where minimax and maximum values are equal, and value of the game for this particular thing is -2. When it is -2, obviously you need to understand if A is losing by 2 points and B is winning by 2 points, that particular scenario, which we are calling it to be as a saddle point. Any doubt? Please let me know.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
You did not no doubt, or you did not understand?
No doubt,
doubt.
ma'am.
Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, now let us go to the second question.
Ma'am, once again, can you explain the game theory, ma'am?
What game theory? Just now I told, no?
Ma'am,
Game,
the last formula.
whatever you want me to explain.
Ma'am, the last formula part.
Formula part, there is no formula. See, we just picked the minimum, we picked minimum values from row wise, and we highlighted the maximum value out of those two minimum values, which is -2. Okay, similarly from column wise, we picked the maximum value from each column, and we selected the minimum value out of the maximum values, where both minimax and maximum values are same. So such kind of situation where minimax and maximum, if they are equal, then I try to call that situation as a saddle point situation. So which is -2, and I call that value. There is a number, no, that value we try to call it to be as -2. So when it is -2, blindly we need to remember in game theory, A is losing. As between player A and player B, A is losing the game by 2 points and B is winning the game with 2 points. That's it. That is the optimal game for that particular player A and player B. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us see the second question.
Yes, ma'am, I understood, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm just Indian strategies. Okay. So now if you see, this is what, as I told you, this is an example where we are applying game theory in business. Okay, in business scenario, it can be between two employees also, girls. It can be a comparison between two employees, two projects. Okay, some strategies, there will be multiple. If you see the current example, it is about the different strategies in a company or between the union. Okay, a company management and the labor union are negotiating a new 3-year settlement. Each of these has 4 strategies. One is hard and aggressive bargaining, second is reasoning and logical approach, third is legalistic strategy, and fourth one is conciliatory approach. The costs of the company are given for every pair of strategy. So union strategies and company strategies are given to us. What strategy will the two sides adopt also determine the value of the game. So that is what they are asking. So what strategies the two sides adopt means nothing but the saddle point they are asking us. So now, okay, if I see that particular question, there are union strategies, which they are with the same Roman numbers, both the sides. First time, let me just copy it. Girls, if you see all the strategies, when we see the matrix, if we properly in company's terminology, when we see the matrix, almost all values are in positive. Okay, that means it is more optimistic towards union in comparison with company. It is only optimistic in one case, where if it is negative means it is in favor for company, yes or no. So only in one scenario it is in favor with the company. The rest all, most of the times it is in favor with the union of that particular company. So let us see what are we supposed to apply. If it is row wise, it is maximin. If it is row wise, it is maximin, and if it is column wise, it is minimax. Okay, minimax, maximin. So maximin means first we need to pick the minimum value. First row, the minimum value is 12. Second row, the minimum value is 8. Third row, the minimum value is 2. Fourth row, the minimum value is -5. Okay, so out of this minimum values, we need to pick the maximum value. So the maximum value is 12. So just highlight 12 even in the body of the matrix. Now come column wise. We need to first pick the maximum values. The maximum value in first column is 40. Second column it is 15. Third column it is, I think this is 10, girls. Okay, third column it is 12, and fourth column it is 35. Out of this maximum values, we need to pick the minimum value, which is 12, and 12 is also which is also the maximum value. So minimax and maximin both are same. Generally, it will not occur all the cases. So which is saddle point, which is 12. So they asked us, the first question they asked us, one question is value of the game, which is 12, and what strategy both of them will adopt. The strategy what both of them will adopt is, for union, they adopt hard and aggressive bargaining. That is what they mentioned. The first strategy is hard and aggressive bargaining. Girls, it is the first strategy union must adopt. So which is nothing but hard and aggressive bargaining. Whereas the company strategy, they need to adopt third strategy. Obviously, what is the third strategy? Legalistic strategy. If they proceed legally only, union people will listen. So this is how, these are the two strategies company or union must adopt. So this is how we can suggest using game theory, certain strategies, which is the best strategy which can be used in order to be profitable in an organization. Any doubt in this particular second question, please let me know.
Ma'am, if maximin and minimax are not same, ma'am?
That is what. Then we will go to the next level. So if we are not able to derive the saddle point, then we will apply dominance. That is what I gave, 3 levels are there in game theory. The first level is getting a saddle point. If you are not getting a saddle point, then I apply dominance. If even after dominance also, if I'm not getting it, then I apply algebraic method. These are the 3 methods which we try to use in order to solve a matrix of game theory.
Okay, ma'am.
Our next level, which we will be seeing. Any doubt in this, girls?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. What will I do from the next dominance and ma'am, after saddle point, once again you explain. Okay, you got the saddle point. Okay, till here I hope it is clear to the one whom typed the message. Again, if no problem, I'll repeat it again. From each row, pick the minimum value. From the picked minimum values, pick the maximum value, which is 12. Okay, this is row wise. Similarly, from column wise, pick the maximum value from each column. Out of the maximum values, the lowest value you need to pick. So where it is nothing but it is a combination of a saddle point, even row wise and column wise, that means the maximin and minimax both are equal, which is nothing but the saddle point, which is 12. Okay, now after this, the value of the game, we got it to be as 12. Value of the game is nothing but the value of the cost matrix. Okay, then these are the two strategies. We got it where we got it to be a saddle point. So when it is from union's perspective, the first strategy is optimal for them. They can choose it, which is nothing but hard and aggressive bargaining. When it is from company's perspective, it is the third strategy which they are supposed to choose, which is nothing but the legalistic strategy. So this is what they asked us, which strategies each of them must adopt. We suggested them the two strategies, and what is the value of the game? We got it to be as 12. Okay. Yeah. Anything else? Any more doubts, girls? Okay, fine. So now with this, I'll conclude today's class because the dominance is a bit lengthy process. First, I'll solve them as it is just basics. I just taught you in this particular class. I'll solve them and we'll complete it on our Saturday's class. Okay. Okay, girls. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Vasundhara, did you take attendance?
Yes, ma'am, I had taken, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay, girls. Thank you. I'm ending the call.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So now if you see the fourth question, player A and player B play a game in which each has 3 coins, 5 paisa, 10 paisa and 20 paisa. Each select a coin without knowledge of other's choice. If the sum of the coins is an odd amount, then A wins B's coin. But if the sum is even, B wins A's coin. Find the best strategy for each player and value of the game. So now if you see in this particular question, there are 3 coins between two players, 5 paisa, 10 paisa and 20 paisa. So if the sum of the 2 coins is an even number, sorry, if the sum of the coins is an odd number, A is winning B's coin, and if the sum of the 2 coins is an even number, B is winning A's coin. So that is what the rule they gave us. So with this help, we will try to I'll just okay, with this logic, we'll just try to construct the matrix. They didn't give us the matrix, girls, so I'm just writing the logic here. If sum is odd, A wins B's coin. Okay, and if sum is even, B wins A's coin. This is the logic they gave us, which is very, very important to construct the matrix. Okay, girls. So now if you see, these are the 3 coins which are given to us, 5 paisa, 10 paisa and 20 paisa, which I wrote row wise and column wise. They are just acting as row header and column header. Yeah. So using that particular logic. So now carefully listen. So 5 paisa, if I'm adding those two, I'm getting an even number. 5 plus 5 is an even number. So when it is an even number, B is winning the game and B is getting A's coin. So what is A's coin here? It is 5. Okay, now I'll just segregate. A is row wise and B is column wise. So what is A's coin? It is 5 paisa. So when it is 5 paisa, but B is winning. B winning means it must be a negative value. So minus 5. Is it clear to you? Did you get the logic? If you remember, player A, when we learned our matrices, when we learned our matrix of game theory, if it is minus 1, 0, 1 and 2, if it is minus, A is losing the game, that means B is winning the game. So now as per that particular logic, the minus sign is coming into picture because 5 plus 5 is an 10, which is an even number. So when it is an even number, what is the rule? B is winning A's coin. So because B is winning, obviously first comes minus sign. And what is A's coin here? It is 5 paisa, so minus 5. Did you get the point? Now same thing will just continue. Now the next one, if I take this particular position of 1 by 2, I mean to say 1, 2, row 1 and column 2. So 5 and 10. So 5 plus 10, which is 15, it is an odd number. When it is an odd number, A is winning B's coin. Because A is winning, obviously it can be a positive value. And now what is B's coin? It is nothing but 10. So 10 paisa, A is going to win from player B. Now same way apply for the third one also. First row, third column. So 5 and 10, it is 25. So 25 is an odd number. Odd number means A is winning the coin. Whose coin? B's coin. Because A is winning, it can be positive value, first thing. And B's coin is 20. So that is how we need to construct the matrix. Go to the second row now. Second row, 10 plus 5, it is 15. Odd number, A is winning, B's coin, and B's coin is 5. As A is winning, the value is positive. Now come to the next one, 10 plus 10, which is 20. 20 is an even number. Even number means B is winning the coin. Because B is winning, first only you just keep minus sign in order to avoid confusion. Then come to what is B winning? B is winning A's coin. What is A's coin? It is 10. So it is minus 10. Same way, apply 10 plus 20, it is 30, even number. Because it is even number, B is winning the coin. First, I am keeping negative sign. And what is A's coin here? It is again 10 paisa. Okay, so go to the third row, 20 plus 5, 25, which is an odd number. When it is an odd number, A is winning B's coin. So what is A winning B's coin? B's coin is 5 paisa, so it is 5. Now 20 plus 10, it is 30 paisa, even number. If it is an even number, negative sign first, B is winning the game. So negative sign, and what is he winning? He is winning A's coin. A's coin is 20. Again 20 plus 20, it is 40. Even number. Even number immediately means B is winning the coin. So negative sign. So what is A's coin? It is 20. So this is how most probably they will not ask us to construct the matrix, but I just taught you using the logic given in the question. You are supposed to construct the matrix, which is very, very important in game theory if they don't give us. So this is obviously the payoff matrix or cost matrix as per our OR terminology. Now we got the matrix. The rest of the problem is easy. We need to find out row wise minimum value, minimax and maximin. Now after this, the entire process is same. So minimum value minus 5. We will first check whether we have a saddle point or not. Okay, so minus 5. And the minimum value here is minus 10. We have 2 minus 10 and minus 20. So out of this, the maximum value is minus 5. So this is maximum. Okay, maximum value is minus 5. Then come column wise also. First we need to pick the maximum values 5, 10 and 20. So out of this, the minimum value is 5. So this is 5. So this is minimax. Okay, so there is no saddle point. So this is the scenario which we didn't see earlier. There will be an example even in game theory without any saddle point, where we are supposed to apply the next level. When there is no saddle point, the first level of application is theory of dominance. Okay, under game theory. So what is this dominance? There will be certain columns or rows which will be dominating their respective adjacent row or column. So we are supposed to delete that particular row or column. If I'm checking column wise, I can name them this way. If a certain column CR, CS, I just took representation of CR and CS, we are supposed to name those respective column. If there is a column where all the values are greater than the next the other column in that particular matrix, then we can collect the column where we have all greater values. Same vice versa, if there is a row where all values are smaller in comparison with the other row in the same matrix, okay, so we can delete the row which is having all small values. So this is how the dominance principle will be applied. I'll explain what is CR and CS. Okay, so now till here this is clear how we constructed the matrix and how we applied maximin and minimax, and we arrived at a point of no value of the game for this. Is it clear to you all? Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Vasundhara, take attendance now only.
Okay, ma'am.
Because certain girls, after I'm making a statement of attendance, immediately they're joining. I mean to say I'm not adding them, but some girls. Okay, now if you see, this is the matrix. We just took this is the matrix. Maybe I write it properly. It's diagonal. Okay, now this is the matrix. So now we need to check the rows. Now first, okay, columns. We'll just first go column wise. We will see if there is any column which is where there is a dominance on that particular column. Let us see. So now if you see -5 is less than 10, but 5 is greater than -10. So no, I can't compare the first column and second column. I'll see the comparison with first column and third column. -5 is less than 20, but 5 is greater than -10. So again, it is not satisfied. Now we will compare second and third columns. 10 is less than 20, -10 and -10 are equal, -20 and -20 are equal. Now see this, girl, see carefully. There is a value which is less than, and rest of the values are equal because it is greater than or equal to. So now if you see, this will be CR and this will be CS. Now just check. I'm just naming the columns, girls. After checking, I just name the columns. Now you can see CR values are greater than or equal to CS values. Agree? Do you all agree? There is I identified two columns. I named them as per our dominance rule. Okay, you need to remember these two formulae blindly under game theory. Okay, you need to remember the two formulae which are very important to apply dominance. So now if you see, we compared first column with second column, there is no application of dominance. First with third, no application. But when I compared second column and third column, there is a chance of dominance where third row is all greater, third column, all values are greater than or equal to in comparison with the second column. So now delete CR. When this rule is applied, CR is greater than or equal to CS, delete CR. So immediately just strike off that particular column. Done. Now, okay, one more rule. When we are applying for dominance, we need to reduce the matrix till 2 by 2 matrix. Now it is 3 by 3 matrix. We need to reduce it to 2 by 2 matrix, girls. That is very important, because if even dominance is not applied, we need to apply algebraic method for that reason. So now if you see, we'll just go now as column wise is done, we'll just compare row wise. I can't reduce more columns because I have only 2 columns remaining. In 2 by 2 matrix, 2 columns and 2 rows are compulsory. So now row wise, if we see, -5 is less than 5. First row and second row I am comparing, girls. -5 is less than 5 and 10 is greater than -10. So it's not applied. Compare first column, first row and third row. -5 is less than 5, 10 is greater. Again, not applied. Compare second and third. 5 and 5 are equal. -10 is greater than -20. Now we arrived at this particular situation of dominance, girls. So now third row can be RR and second row can be RS. Girls, check it out. Now as per row application, all the values in that respective row must be less than the dominant row. So now RS is dominating RR. First 5 and 5 are equal. -10 is greater than -20. So in this situation, we are supposed to delete RR. So now using the dominance principle, we reduced the matrix into 2 by 2 matrix. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Any doubt in this? Are you all clear? Now I'll just take this and work on for again. We'll work for saddle point and we will see what is happening. Make sure that you're keeping the correct row headers and column headers, 5 point and 10 point, 5 point and 10 point. These are the row and column headers that you must not change it. 5, 10, 5 minus 10. So this is how after dominance we got this particular matrix. Same again apply minimax and maximin, and will let us check whether we will get it or not. Minimum values, minus 5 is the minimum value and minus 10 is the minimum value. The maximum out of these two is minus 5. So this is maximin. Now check maximum values column wise, 5 and 10. The minimum value out of this is minimax 5. There is no saddle point. Girls, after applying dominance, even when we are checking for saddle point, there is no, after applying, minimax and maximum also, we are not able to derive the saddle point. So in this scenario, we need to go for third level, which is algebraic method. So algebraic method, simple, convert your 2 by 2 matrix into equation. So that is very, very important. So that is the reason we reduce under dominance only, directly we reduce the matrix into 2 by 2 matrix. If again after this again we are supposed to do, it is a critical process. So just check it out. So now how I am going to convert. So we will take two decision variables x1 and x2. Algebra, no, we need to convert them into equations. Okay, so minus 5x1 plus 5x2 is greater than or equal to v. V is nothing but value of the game. Girls, I just took first column. I'm just taking column wise, first column and second column. That's it. We'll only follow one flow. We can also take row wise also. Same thing will come, minus 5x1 plus 10x2 is less than or equal to v. If it is row wise, it is less than or equal to. Okay, we'll just go column wise. We'll follow one method only in all this, in all the examples of algebraic method. So 10x1 plus minus 10x2 is greater than or equal to v. I'm just naming them equation 1, equation 2, and the last one is where x1 and x2 are nothing but probabilities, girls. So that is how x1 plus x2 is equal to 1 always. So this is the rule for algebraic method, converting your matrix into equations using decision variables x and y, which are nothing but the probabilities, where all validation variables, obviously we take two decision variables only. So x1 plus x2 are always equal to 1. So this is how you need to represent. This representation is very, very important in game theory. Okay, and now simple, we need to solve the equations. Now, as using this particular thing, when I take third equation, using third equation, we derive that x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. So this I'll substitute in equation 1. Okay, this I'm substituting it in equation 1. Listen carefully, girls. So when I'm substituting that, minus 5 into 1 minus, I'll erase this particular part. So minus 5 into 1 minus x2 plus 5 into x2 is equal to v. So this is our value of the game. So is equal to v. When I solve it, minus 5 plus 5x2 plus 5x2 is equal to v. We'll just make it as x2 is equal to. So 10x2 is equal to v plus 10. x2 is equal to v plus 10 by 10. This is what we got it to be as. Okay. Are you clear? Any doubt in this?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, it's V plus 5, no?
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, V plus 5 divided by 3. Okay, fine. Yeah, now I'm just checking.
Ma'am, third equation should always be x1 plus x2 equal to 1 only, ma'am.
Yeah, third equation will always be same. It is always x1 plus x2 is equal to 1 because it is nothing but the probability. We are just telling the decision variables are nothing but probability. So as per our probability rule, all decision variables will be equal to 1. So that is how it is. It is universal rule which will not change. Okay. Now what we will do, we will substitute in equation 1 we substituted. No, now we will substitute x2 in equation 2. Okay, 1 is done. Now we will substitute this in equation 2. So 10x1 minus 10 into v plus 5 by 10 is equal to v. Okay, so 10 gets cancelled. So 10x1 minus v minus 5 is equal to v. So 10x1 is equal to, when they come this side, 2v plus 5. Am I correct? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
X1 is equal to 2v plus y by 10. So this is x1. Now substitute these two. Substitute x1 and x2 in equation 3. We need to derive value of the game, girls. All this, even when we got saddle point, what we used to write, it is nothing but it is equal to v. Now using these x1 and x2 values, by substituting in equation 3, we will find out what is v equal to. Okay, that is our ultimate goal. So when I apply this, I'll just erase this matrix which is not required right now. This I'm continuing it here, girls. Just check it out. So x1 plus x2, no. So 2v plus 5 by 10 plus v plus 5 by 10 is equal to 1. So this is nothing but equation 3. We just substituted x1 and x2 in equation 3. Okay. So as the denominators are same, we can directly add them. 3v plus 10 is equal to 10. So 3v is equal to 10 minus 10, which is 0. v is 0. We got value of the game to be as 0. So that means almost there is no saddle point or there is no value of the game for this particular matrix. Okay, girls, are you clear? Generally, we don't get value to be as 0, but for this particular game, we got it to be as 0. We will see what will happen for the other games when we proceed further. Any doubt in this? Clear? Are you all clear with this?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
What did we do? Again, I'll explain, girls. We just came column wise. First column values minus 5x1 plus 5x2 greater than or equal to v. Second column values 10x1 minus 10x2 greater than or equal to v. So using our third equation, which is a universal equation, x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Using that, we derived x1 is equal to 1 minus x1 is equal to 1 minus x2. So that first, what did we do? We substituted in equation 1 and we derived what is x2 because we got x1, no? So using that, we derived what is x2. So substitute this x2 value in equation 2 and we derived what is x1 in the terms of v. Okay, girls, we can tell, you can tell this one also. Yes, but what happens when I substitute again, it becomes wrong. All becomes 0 when I take this. So in the form of v, again I found out what is x1. So substitute x1 and x2 in equation 3, we get value of the game. Okay. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
No, ma'am.
Let us see. Okay, let us take fifth problem. I'll just share you the question. We'll see what happened in fourth also, how we arrived at this. So what did they say? But if the sum is even, B wins the game. Find the best strategy for each player and values of the game. There is no best strategy. Yes, girls, because the value of the game is 0, we can't suggest any best strategy for each player as the value of the game is 0. That is how we can conclude. Now come to the fifth problem. A company is currently involved in negotiation with its union on the upcoming wage contract. Positive signs in the table represents wage increases. So this is one important, important element in the matrix, girls, which completely changes the matrix. Okay, positive sign in the table represents wage increases, while it is not which, while negative sign represents wage reduction. Okay, so that we just need to highlight. And what are the optimal strategies for the company as well as union? What is the value of the game? So now if you see, this is the matrix, girls. What they mentioned, they gave us union strategies and company strategies. So when we see the matrix, positive sign represents there is an increase in wage. Okay, now if I take it in company's perspective, now player A is company. Remember that, we need to remember player A is company and player A is winning the game if it is a positive sign. Okay, so now positive sign means wage is increasing. Remember this. But do company generally, an owner will try to increase the wages continuously?
No, ma'am.
No, obviously they try to give the optimal wage. It is not like they try to reduce the wage, but they try to they try to say, think like they must be profitable as well as they need to pay the optimal wages. But when I see column wise, if I take union's perspective, from union side, the negative value represents wage is reducing. Now that means when we see it is player B's position, okay, union is in player B's position. So if it is player B, when it is a negative sign, okay, player B is winning. That is what we understood under game theory. Yes or no? But if union will try to reduce the wage always, obviously union always requests the company to increase the wages. That means the positions are wrong. We need to just convert rows to columns and columns to rows. Simple. So that in order to satisfy this, that is how this is very, very important. Did you understand, girls? When we see logically, it is in an opposite version. Company will try to reduce the wage and union will try to request for increasing the wages. But the given matrix is an opposite. Okay, so simple, we need to convert rows to columns and columns to rows. So then our logic will be applied where instead of keeping company player B, A side, I am just keeping company player B side. The strategies are, okay. Girls, did you understand why did we convert this way? Now when we check that particular principle, the positive value represents increase in wage rate. So from player A's perspective, this is player A, let us assume, and this is player B. So positive value is increase in wage rate. Yes, always unions tries to increase the, sorry, I'll stop sharing this. So always the union tries to increase the wage. Okay, so positive value from player A's perspective, from union's perspective, now it is satisfied. From player B's perspective, if it is a negative value, the wage rate is decreased. Obviously, company always try to decrease the wage and try to give the optimal wage to the employee. So that is how we just converted rows to column and columns to row. Understood? Any doubt in this? So when such kind of hints are given in the question, read them carefully and try to apply. Girls, now I'll just show you the matrix again, what is given in the material. Union are given column wise and company are given row wise. I just modified them rows to columns and columns to rows. That is the only change which I made. Okay, so be clear with that particular change. So now simple again apply our same old thing. First we need to check using saddle point whether we are getting a saddle point or not. So first pick the minimum values row wise. So when I pick the minimum value row wise, it is 0.14 first row, 0.06 second row, 0.05 third row, and minus 0.02 fourth row. And out of them maximum value is 0.14. This is the maximum. Okay, so 0.14 is the maximum value. Now come column wise maximum value when we pick. So first column maximum value is 0.35. Second column the maximum value is 0.20. Third column the maximum value is 0.14. Fourth column the maximum value is 0.30. So out of this we need to pick the minimum value. So this is nothing but minimax. Okay, so we got the saddle point. So saddle point is U1 and C3, okay, where value of the game is 0.14. So they asked in the question, what is the optimal strategy for union? It is strategy 1, and for the optimal strategy for company is C3, okay. So this is how you need to interpret the question, okay. Am I clear? Girls, there is only 1 minute left. So join back after 10 to 15 minutes because I have little work, and then we will continue with the class. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So all of you join at 9:50. We'll continue with the rest of the problems of game theory. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Sixth problem. In a game of matching coins with two players, suppose A wins 1 unit of value when there are two heads. 1 minute. I still get students joining the video. Okay. Suppose A wins 1 unit of value when there are two heads and wins nothing when there are two tails, and loses half unit of the value when there is one head and one tail. Determine the payoff matrix. So, okay, better instead of, okay, simple girls, it is only one player's perspective. They just stated about player A's perspective. Okay, so now if you see the game is about flipping the coin. Okay, so in this particular thing, what is the logic they are using is A wins 1 unit of the value when there are two heads, wins nothing when there are two tails, and loses half unit of the value when there is one head and one tail. So this is the logic which is given in the question. Using that particular logic, we will apply that particular logic and construct the matrix in game theory. So now if you see, they didn't give D's perspective, they only gave player A's perspective. So that is not at all a problem. With that, we can construct the matrix. So now when there are two heads, A gets 1 point. When there are two tails, A doesn't get any point, which is 0. Okay, that is what they gave. When there is one head and one tail, it loses. I'll just go back. I forgot that particular point. When there is one head and one tail, it loses half unit of the value. So loses means obviously negative sign. So loses half unit of the value. So it is one head, one tail, minus 0.5 and minus 0.5. So this is how we got the matrix. Am I clear? Any doubt in this construction of the matrix? Is it clear?
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, now simple again, use your logic of minimum value, maximum value, minimax and maximin, and then we will see what is happening. So minimum value row wise, first row minus 0.25, sorry, minus 0.5, and second row also minus 0.5. So can I pick any maximum value out of these two? Obviously no. There itself we are arriving, there is no saddle point for this particular game. I can't derive maximin value row wise. Similarly, we will check column wise. So maximum values are 1 and 0. Out of these two, the minimum value is 0. Okay. So obviously there is no saddle point. Can I apply dominance on this matrix, girls? What is my first step? If there is no saddle point, obviously I need to go with applying dominance. Can I apply dominance on this matrix? I can't apply
No,
because
ma'am.
already
Because
2 by
there's
2
2 by
matrix.
2.
If I can't delete more rows and columns, if it is beyond 2 by 2 matrix, then I can apply dominance. So directly we will go for applying algebraic method. So as it is 2 by, you can write that as it is 2 by 2 matrix, no, we can't apply dominance. So directly, I'm just using x1 and x2 are decision variables. x1 minus 0.5 x2 is greater than or equal to v. This is equation 1. Minus 0.5 x1 plus 0 into x2, okay, plus 0 into x2 is greater than or equal to v, which is, then third equation is x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. These are the three equations. Okay, girls. So now, obviously, from equation 2, as we have one value to be as 0, from equation 2, okay, what is x1? x1 is equal to minus 0.5, x1 is equal to v. So x1 is equal to minus v divided by 0.5. Okay, girls. So this we are already getting it as we have this as 0. Understood? Remember, is it clear to you all? Now substitute this in equation 1. So when I am substituting x1 in equation 1, minus v divided by 0.5 minus 0.5 by into x2 is equal to v. When I solve it out, so this is how we got 0.5 into 0.5, 0.25. So that is how I wrote. And 0.5v plus v is 1.5v. Minus sign from here, I brought the other side. So it is minus 1.5v. So that is how we got x2. So substitute x1 and x2 in equation 3. So simple, minus v by 0.5 minus 1.5v divided by 0.25 is equal to 1. So we need to derive what is v value. So for that we need to equal numerator and denominator. So minus 2.25v minus 1. Okay, 15 into 5. 15 5s are 125, no? Sorry, 75. So (25 into 5). This is 125.
125 now.
So the value of the game is minus 0.125. Okay. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Are you all clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Someone is waiting. Fine. Any doubt in this, girls? So you want one more example? I already gave one more example in the notebook. Shall we check one more example? This is a bit critical. Like you can expect these kind of questions also in such kind of scenario, how to solve it out. We will just see. Okay. Are you clear with this question? Can I erase this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, for this particular game, again, as it is not in recording, I'm just repeating, we picked the minimum values row wise. Okay, out of that, we got one maximum value, we highlighted that. Whereas when I'm coming column wise, we picked maximum values, but in order to pick the minimax, all the values, minimum values are same. So there is no saddle point for the given matrix. So what are we supposed to do? We need to apply dominance. So in order to avoid confusion, I'm just erasing maximum and minimax values. Okay, I'm just keeping the matrix. Only body of the matrix is there. So now if you see, now what is dominance? We need to check the row or column which is dominating. Now when if I apply this particular, I'm just writing the principles here, girls. CR must be greater than or equal to CS, or RR must be less than or equal to RS. So if these things are applied, so delete CR or RR based on the criteria. So now first we'll come column wise. So check first column, compare it with the second column. 3 is less than 2. 3 is less than 4, but 4 is greater, opposite. So we can't apply. Same first and third column. 3 is less than 4, 3 is greater than 2. So again, no. First and third, fourth column. 3 is greater than 0, 3 is less than 4. Again, not applied. Now come with comparison with 2 and, second column and third column. 2 is less than 4, 4 is greater. Again, no. Okay. So now again compare second column with fourth column. 2 is greater than 4, 4 is equal to 4, 2 is greater than, but 4 is less than 8. The last one is opposite. So again, no. Now compare third and fourth. 4 is greater than, 2 is less than. So column wise, we are not able to apply dominance. We will just check whether row wise can we apply. 3 is equal to 3, 2 is less than 4, but 4 is greater. First and second row, we can't. Second, we'll see first and third row. 3 is less than, 2 is equal to 2, 4 is equal to 4, and 0 is equal to. I think first row and third row, we can apply for dominance. Vasundhara, take attendance. Okay, first row and third. Now, this I will name it as RR. First row I'm naming it as RR, and third row I'm naming it as RS, girls. Just check it out. 3 is less than 4. RR must be all less than or equal to RS. 3 is less than 4. 2 is equal to 2. 4 is equal to 4, and 0 is equal to 0. So delete. This is the dominance. So delete the first row. Am I clear? Girls, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now compare. We will also see second row and third row. I'm just erasing this RS. Okay, no problem. We can keep it for you to understand. Now we will just check whether the second and third rows. 3 is less than 4, but 4 is greater. No. 3 is greater than 0. 4 is equal to 0. 2 is greater than 0, but 4 is less than. So the last we can't apply. We need to reduce this 4 by 4 matrix to 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, that is very, very important. Then after this, compare third row and fourth row. 4 is greater than 0, 2 is less than. So again, it is not applied. Now come again, row wise is done, girls. We can't further apply dominance. We will go back to column wise again. We will see as first column is gone. We will see is there any change where I can apply dominance in that respective column. So 3 is less than, 4 is greater than, no. 3 is greater than, and 4 is equal to C. Now this, I'll just write it out. This is CR and this is CS. Check it out, girls. 3 is greater than 2, 4 is equal to 4, and 0 is equal to 0. So all the values of CR are greater than or equal to CS. So delete CR. Am I clear? Now 4 by 4 matrix is being reduced to 3 by 3 matrix. Now again 3 by 3 matrix, we need to further reduce to 2 by 2 matrix. Okay, so that is the challenging task. So now what happens, girls, in this 3 by 3 matrix, we can't apply dominance. For you all to understand, once I'll just show you. Listen carefully. 4 is greater than, I'm coming column wise first, and then again I'll go row wise. Okay, 4 is greater than 2, but 2 is less than 4. So first column and second column, no. 4 is equal to 4, 2 is greater than 0, but 4 is less than 8. Okay, so again, this is also, I can't, on this also, I can't apply. Now what will I do? I'll go row wise. First row, 4 is greater than, but 2 is less than. 4 is equal to, 2 is greater than, but 4 is less than. Again, it is not satisfied. 2, 4, and 4, 0. So this is how the scenario is row wise or column wise. I can't apply dominance. In this kind of scenario, you can take average of 2 columns and 2 rows. So in what way I'll take? Now I'm just going column wise, girls. We will see. I'll just take the average of these two. Okay. So and we will just name what is to be as. So now 2 plus 4 divided average. 2 plus 4 is 6 by 2, which is 3. 4 plus 0, 4 by 2, it is 2. Girls, I'm taking average, and this is 4. Okay. So now I just took average of the last 2 columns. So now what happens? So CR, 4 is greater than 3, 2 is equal to 2, and 4 is equal to 4. So now what happened? This is CR, and these 2 columns are acting as CS. So using the dominance principle, I am just crossing off. So not always all the rows or columns will be greater than or equal to. Certain times you need to club them together in order to make them as the average. Okay. Girls, am I clear with this point? We just took the average of the last 2 columns and we applied dominance. So where we were able to strike off one respective column. Now the same way, take the average of these 2 rows and we will see. So if I take the average of these 2 rows, 4 by 2, it is 2, 8, it is 4. So 2, 8 by 2, it is 4. So now if I compare this, I'm just naming this as RR and the average of this, sorry. Yeah, this is RR and this is RS, so cross off RR. So the remaining matrix is A3, A4. So this is the matrix which is remaining after applying dominance. Girls, this complicated, you might not get it, but we need to know even this particular rule. When not all rows or columns are greater than or less than the adjacent row or column, in such kind of scenario, you need to take the averages of the 2 rows or 2 columns and then apply dominance principle and delete that respective row or column. Okay, am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now with this, we got this reduced 2 by 2 matrix. I'll just write it here. Okay, so now convert this 2 by 2 matrix into equation. 4x1 plus 0, no? So 4x1 is greater than or equal to b, and 8x2 is greater than or equal to b. So using this here itself, we are getting them, girls. X1 is equal to b by 4 and x2 is equal to b by 8. So third equation, x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. Substitute them, b by 4 plus b by 8 is equal to 1. So 12b is equal to 4 8s are 32. So b is equal to 32 by 12. So the value of the game for this particular thing is 32 by 12. So that is how we need to apply. These are the problems under game theory. Any doubt, girls? Please let me know.